Well. Welcome back, ladies and gents. My name is Tyler, and this is the TJR Auto channel. Now, as you can see, I'm currently sitting on Gemma, who is in my garage, which is very good news. If you saw my last video, which a lot of people did see my last video, and a lot of people commented and replied back to all of the questions I had to ponder throughout the video. So thank you to each and every one of you that I actually got to talk with and got opinions from and tips and all that kind of stuff. A couple comments actually really did open up my eyes, make me see a couple things differently. So that's good. That's what I was looking for. So majority vote and my personal vote is, let's work on the yellow banana shitbox, the rotten banana, if you will. This car is a dumpster fire, but it is well worth the time, I hope. So today, in the next couple days, which is this video, I plan on tearing down as much as I can, and then this upcoming weekend, I got some buddies coming over, I got an engine hoist getting delivered to my house, and we are going to yank the drivetrain. We will then be able to split the motor from the trans, see what's wrong with the trans, see what we need to order for the motor. I have a pretty nasty oil leak. I think it's a rear main or an oil pan gasket, so stupid stuff like that. What can I upgrade? What can I just change while I'm in there? And dive into the front end. So we got a lot of videos ahead of us. I got a lot of time. And yeah, so stay tuned. Got my two queens in the garage. That is my dearest Audrey. Yes, she has crutches. She is okay, we think, we hope.
I don't know.
Yes, so got Audrey back there. She's hanging out with me today, thankfully. We have Gemma, and of course, well, it's kind of confusing which blue one you're supposed to look at, but we got good old Bonnie. So, for those who don't know, this is my 2004 Pontiac GTO. It is a 5.7 liter with a T56 6-speed, yellow jacket from factory, black leather, fun car. This has a cam in it. It's putting just under 400 to the wheels, and it was a great daily driver, a great fun car, but I blew the trans up twice, and I got the car for really cheap. Well, technically it was valued really cheap through a trade, because the previous owner stuffed this corner into a wall, so the subframe is bent, the frame rails are kinked, and everything up front behind the bumper is just destroyed, and me and my buddy boogered it back together just to get the car to look straight, to hold me over. But over here, past my beautiful little welder, getting that thing put to work in, we have straight front frame rails and a K-member and basically everything I need to make this yellow GTO a straight car again. So you guys can see, before you can see the wheel, the caster is set towards the door jamb rather than towards the headlight. So the front wheel is pushed back actually significantly. It's a couple inches back. I pulled out as much damage as I could with my trusty old Jeep, but didn't pull out too much. So that's why we got to change the frame rails. But today we're going to start off simple. Yank the battery, headlights, bumper, maybe the fenders, skirts, and then really just start diving into draining all the fluids and start getting everything unbuttoned to get yanked. Looking good. Now I think what's appropriate, and also you guys can see just how bad this front end really is. You probably could get most of this out with a frame machine. It's to the point where it's not even worth it. Everything is just so off up here. It looked pretty good when the car was together, but it really is just bad. So you can see where me and Mike had to rig up random pieces of scrap and just kind of booger weld it together to get the radiator to sit low enough for the hood to close. Like, this thing is just off. So I'm gonna start tearing in the easy stuff on the motor, and I also want to start getting fluid out of it tonight so that I can just let it drain overnight, and then tomorrow start fresh with a fresh dry drivetrain and continue to tear stuff down. So let's get at it. IAT, MAF sensor, that shit unplugged. That off of there. Then we'll have to do this. A beautiful tie down. That's good. Get that shit out of here, boy. Let's pop this Johnny off. And boom. Bruh. Look who. Oh, we're getting the ladies' approval. Please don't trip on anything. Getting the ladies' approval. What do we think, Audrey?
What's that?
It's coolant. Mine's orange.
Why is it orange?
Because the motor's aluminum. For those who don't know, actually, because I didn't know that. I didn't know about this until I got this car. Iron block motors. So when the motor is iron, it uses green coolant. When you have an aluminum block motor, such as this LS1 and or LS6 block, whatever you want to call it, you have to use orange. So when I first got this car on the road, I put green coolant in it. And then I actually had people telling me in the comments, hey, you're not supposed to use green, you're supposed to use orange because of that reason. So shout out to that guy. I don't know who the fuck you were, but shout out to you, because you taught me that orange coolant exists. I knew it existed, but I didn't really know for what. So like I said, gonna let this thing just keep dripping and do a little bit of cleanup here and there probably, because I need more space. It's another new day. Now, I've been putting in a little bit of work off camera, and I guess I'll just show you. I'll catch you up to speed on where we're at. It's really nothing too entertaining, but you know, I figure there's probably only so many time lapses and you know, music you guys really want to listen to. Unless you guys like that, then I'll keep trucking along with it. But let me show you. Alrighty, so as I said, did a little bit of work off camera. As you can see, the coil packs are pulled off of this side. All the wires are undone. And on this side, I'm just getting ready to pop off these coil packs and spark plug wires. I unplugged as much shit as I could from the motor itself. And I labeled every single thing. So here, you know, coolant temp, which is in the head. Cruise control, question mark, because we don't really know. Here we got driver side wheel tub light connector harness. I think that's what that is, at least. TPS, IAT. Back here we have our injectors. We have 1 through 7 on this side, which is the driver's side of the motor. It goes 1, 3, 5, 7. And then on the passenger side of the motor, which just harnesses a lot less stuff, you can see here we got a head, or front passenger head ground, which goes right at this stud here. Let's see. And here's the even number injector. So we have 2, 4, 6, 8. So it's actually fairly simple how they set these up, and I'm assuming small blocks are the same way, so that's pretty cool. One thing I will note is with these injector plugs, they have this little I don't even know what the hell you want to call this thing, like this little silver clip. This actually has to pop out in order, oh, I can't do it by finger. I was using a screwdriver, but you have to pop that out in order to unplug the injector. You got to make sure you put them back in so you don't lose them when you're done. I'm sure they're an easily readily available part. It's literally just a paper clip. So that's that, but we got the wiring tucked out of the way. It's basically as much as I could at the moment. I still do have to start playing around with the actual bay harness. I think that's just the engine harness. I don't know where it goes. I'm sure it goes somewhere back to the trans probably. And there's a couple plugs at the back of the motor I couldn't get to, but I'll wait until I go to pull the motor for that. And then up here we have, you know, the battery, starter stuff I didn't get to yet. Anything under the car I didn't touch. So still got to label these and start pulling them out. I got to do stupid little stuff like pull out this, pull the wire that's out of the wire out of here. That's for the hood. You know, the hood sensor and all the fog lights and all that kind of stuff. So still got a bunch of work to do, but I'm just figured I'd show you guys how I'm labeling things, how I'm going about getting rid of them. Not really getting rid of them, but unplugging them. And then I just tied them up to the windshield wiper for now so that they are out of the way and I can keep working in the bay. But like I said, I'm going to pop off this set of coils right now and I will label them with tape like I did for the driver's side. which is back here. So you can see 1357. This tube was on the motor, but it wasn't doing anything. It wasn't actually hooked up to anything. It was hooked up to the throttle body. That's it. So I'm assuming that's some emissions stuff that's going to get deleted while we're here. And another scary thing I just found was this fuel line crossover back here. We'll do it now. Look at that. That fucking pisses fuel when you touch it. So that's definitely going to be getting redone, because anybody that knows GTOs, the crossover fuel line at the rear of the motor is notorious for burning these cars down. When you use the stock GTO covers, these are actually from my 05, so I would have to modify them to fit the 04, which I don't care to do, because this, with the different fuel rails and shit, it won't really fit. But the stock covers from factory, the plastic back here, will actually cut through the rubber fuel line and has caused a lot of GTOs to burn down. So that's a no-go. That's a no-go. If you have a GTO, make sure you change that thing, or you inspect it regularly if you run your covers, or just pull your covers off and you don't have to worry about it. But yeah, let's keep grooving, people. Alrighty, we are back for another GTO day, but unfortunately, I'm not working on the GTO right after work. I gotta work on somebody else named Bonnie. So, funny story, I have never done brakes. You probably can't even see it. I've never done brakes on this car. And I've owned this car for 5 years now. I've had this car since I was 15 or 16. I'm 21 now. So yeah, about 5-6 years. So I've never done brakes on the car. They were brand new rotors and pads, front and rear, when I got it. Dealership basically took care of like everything maintenance wise on this car when I first got it. So I really got lucky and didn't do much for a long time until I started really abusing it. But the rear rotors are decently smooth. Yeah, these are decently smooth back here. The passenger side actually is slightly lipped. And then the front rotors are very smooth. They're definitely fine to run. You can see the scoring on this side. So now you can feel that with my finger. So it's definitely not good. And you can see it's just not, oh, wow, is that cracked? No, it's just rust. That's fine. So yeah, realistically, this car needs rotors and pads all the way around. It's very overdue. I want to do either the power stop brakes that I did on the GOAT, the drilled and slotted rotors front and rear with carbon fiber pads. Honestly, I love how they feel in this car. And they were the, power stops from Amazon. I think it was like $450 for everything. Great kit, does great. So I was able to get some power stop front pads that are carbon fiber ceramic, and I got the cheapest rear pads that I could. I figure the rear pads are going to be eaten up anyways with how bad the rotors are, so that's whatever. And the front pads, I figure they matter the most, so we'll put some money into what matters the most. I think that was $80 said and done, and they were overnighted to my door from last night. I ordered it. They arrived at 6 o'clock this morning. So another thing too is it is my mother's birthday today. That of course means a mandatory birthday dinner, and you can't really miss that. Otherwise I probably wouldn't have a space like this to work in and to live in. So can't complain. So happy birthday to my beautiful, wonderful mother. Thank you, you crazy woman, for everything you do and all that good stuff. So if you guys want, just wish my mom a happy birthday in the comments. I don't think she watches my videos, but it's something. I can tell her, oh, go look at my channel, all my people love you. Yeah. So let's get this pig up in the air. I don't have much time, but I think we can get this knocked out. So whole control arm moves. You can see the whole strut moving. I promise I'm not working hard. It's just really hot out here. But driver's side front is done. So far it looks like the only other thing that I can diagnose is a bad control arm bushing or just bad control arm. I did these control arms a couple years ago when I did the lowering kit. It's all P71 aluminum suspension. So it's not the end of the world, but I'll add it to my final list to build for this car. So front pads are done up here. I'm gonna move on to the back now, see how fast we can crank that out. And I won't bore you guys with showing you both sides. I'll just show you guys one side each. Well, honestly, this side still had a lot of life left on it too. That's kind of scary. I mean, you can see that one actually wore pretty poorly. You can see the other thing's fucking crooked. That one looks pretty straight, a little crooked. But it is crazy to think the amount of abuse that these pads went through, and they actually still have life left on them. I guess my noise for the brakes was coming from the other side of the car. It also could have been coming from this caliper, saying that the pad was stuck to it. But that caliper did compress no problem. Obviously I put it back together. Like I said, we just diagnosed, back control arm up here. The rear of the car looked fine. These are the babiest brakes I would ever think that a company would put on such a big car. I've never worked on a caliper like this. Basically the caliper comes off all in one piece, and the pads actually go into the caliper and then you put it onto the rotor, not normally how you put the pads onto the, bracket that's on the rotor and then you put the caliper on. It's really weird, but super easy to work with. So this side's all squared away. I'll knock out the other side. This really didn't take very long. And since it didn't take very long, that means I will have some GTO time before the birthday dinner tonight. So just to rattle off a couple things that's left. I don't know if I'm gonna show them or not on video, just because I can get it done a lot quicker if I don't video it and, try to talk to you guys, since, I love to ramble. There's a couple things obviously left on this. So one is I got to drain the trans. I need to pull the drive shaft. I got to pull all the wiring off of said trans. And then the trans mount, motor mounts, starter, and power steering lines I have to disconnect from the rack to get them out of the way so I can safely yank the motor and trans out of this. That and then fuel lines as well. So it's basically there. I'm just trying to get it done. I'm not trying to rush it. Obviously I want to get this done and I want to get this project want to get this project going. It's not like I'm just changing something on here. I got to yank this drivetrain and then the real fun begins. Dropping the K-member, doing the front frame swap. So got a lot of work cut out ahead of us, but if you stay tuned and watch the next couple videos, you guys will see the amount of work that we're going to put into this car. I'm going to make this thing my own, and again, I'm super excited that I have all of you guys to come along with me. So I think I'm probably going to stop the video here. Like I said, I'll just crank out all this work tonight. It's really nothing fun. It's a lot of dirty work under the car stuff. So you guys already saw me do the trans and whatnot. So the starter is straightforward, and same with the power steering lines. Crack it off the rack, pull it off. Just be very careful with it. So as always, I want to give you guys a huge thank you for watching. Thank you for always tuning in, liking, commenting, subbing. So let me wrap up the marquee. Let me get some work done on the goat, and then I'll have to actually clean myself up, be presentable, and go to dinner tonight. So as always, thank you guys for watching, and make sure to tune in next week to see more goat content, because next video, that motor's coming out.